An earnest plea to the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. Dear ADL, I would like to make a most earnest, most sincere plea that you remove my former compatriot Colin Liddell from your list of infamy. It's really not fair that he still occupies a position on this list of infamy that you compiled back in 2017. This hit piece that you had one of your writers compose, from alt-right to alt-light, naming the hate. You should probably take that fellow off too. But I'm just going to focus particularly on Mr. Liddell. Okay, so scroll down. So they start off by talking about who's on the alt-right and who's on the alt-light. This was again back in 2017. Listed in alphabetical order by first name for some reason. So as you can see, I am the third one listed in the wiki, aka the nameless one. And I have not been such a good boy. So I fully deserve to still be on your list of infamy. So I'm not going to make any pleas on my own behalf. But I do wish, dear ADL, I do wish that you would remove Colin Liddell from this list. He really doesn't deserve to be there anymore. Over the last year, he has shown himself to be a worthy ally of the neoliberal dogma, which is favored by the ADL, of course, which it should be, of course. And I'm speaking on Colin's behalf here, just because I know he's too humble to speak on his own behalf. He wouldn't want to come forward and do this for himself. But so as a good friend, I am going to do this for him. You say that Colin Liddell is somebody who writes about the notion of racial equality fabricated by the leftist liberal media and the Jewish propaganda machine. Well, maybe he used to ponder such things, wonder about such things, or express himself in such a way. But if you just paid attention to Colin's latest work, you will have to admit he has done everything he can to, again, show himself to be a worthy ally to groups like the ADL and the SPLC and the Democratic Party and so forth. He has said quite reasonably that it was Russian influence that brought Donald Trump to power in 2016. It was because of Putin and Russian influence and Russian bots that was the reason that Trump ever came to power. He has said, and I'm sure you will agree with him on this, that WikiLeaks, in their exposure of the members of the DNC, including John Podesta et al., that was just again a Russian-backed effort to put Donald Trump into power. He has said that people who hold non-salubrious views on your kind, your people, your ethnicity, that people like that, he's called them Nazi tards, and has said that they should not be platformed, and that people who talk to them are giving them a platform, and that makes whoever talks to them as bad as they are essentially. So he has maintained this perspective on Nazi tards, which maybe you at the ADL, maybe that's a little bit of a rough language for you, but I don't think so. I think you'd probably be okay using that word, even though it would be forbidden in most other ways. And even though most of you are liberal leftists who support abortion for Down syndrome children, you still think that calling someone retarded or using the word tard to describe them is offensive, and you're completely right in that respect. But I think you can just have a little bit of mercy for Colin Liddell, considering the good work that he's done lately. And most importantly, Colin Liddell has supported the kosher Nazis of the Ukrainian army, Right Sector, and of course the Azov Battalion. And the ADL, as the ADL knows, these guys, they may be Nazis, but we still should support them, and because NATO good, and opposing NATO bad. We all know that. You know that. I know that. Even though I most offensively write things that contradict that fact, it is still nevertheless something that Colin Liddell has most passionately argued for. So he, like you guys, like the ADL, and like much of the Western neoliberal establishment, he has done this tiptoeing act without succumbing to cognitive dissonance. And that's always dangerous when you say Nazis are bad, yet Nazis are good. Nazis can be good, but at the same time, Nazis are bad. Colin Liddell has maintained this balance. He has been able to double think in the way that is recommended by your august institution and by your allies in the neoliberal establishment of the Western world. Colin Liddell has shown himself to be in favor of Western governments completely correctly giving millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars, to aid Ukraine and their fighting men to keep the war going in eastern Ukraine. So he has really been a good foot soldier on your behalf, and it's time you show a little bit of respect and remove his name from your list of infamy, because he no longer deserves to be there. I pray and hope and wish and fervently desire that you will hear my words, O ADL, and clear Colin Liddell from the charges that you filed against him in 2017, to take him off this list of infamy that you placed him on in 2017, and to give him his blue check mark on Twitter. Thank you for listening, and that's all I have to say. Goodbye.